Good evening. I just downloaded the trial of the Huey, as well as the trial for the Syria map. Never played on Syria, and I've never played the Huey. So let's see what I can come up with. Actually, I'm going to start with training. Let's see what they've got. Alright, let's take it from the cold start. I don't have anything mapped, so I'm just going to see how this works, and then I'll worry about mapping controls. I'm also going to be doing this with the Warthog HOTAS, so not a perfect setup. But we'll see what we can see.
Welcome to the Cold Start lesson, Cadet. Today we will practice starting up the Huey and getting her ready for flight. Press the spacebar key when you are ready to begin. Before we begin, press right Control and C to close the cockpit doors.
Can't click on it? There we go. Oh, I guess it wants me to click.
First, we need to provide electrical power to the aircraft. This can be done with the help of the ground crew, but we'll use onboard power. Take a look on the overhead console. On the AC power control panel, set the AC phase voltmeter selector switch to AC, and the inverter switch labeled INVTR to off. Now on the DC power control panel, set the main generator switch to on and the DC voltmeter selector switch to ESS bus, essential bus. Next, set the starter generator switch to start and turn on the battery. Don't worry, that's just the low RPM warning blaring, which is normal right now. Press the low RPM audio switch to acknowledge the warning. Let's also test the caution lights panel to make sure all of the lights are operative. Set and hold the test switch in the down position. Make sure all of the caution lights are on. Next, on the engine control panel, set the main fuel switch to on and the governor switch to auto. All other fuel switches should be off. On the miscellaneous control panel, set the hydraulic control switch to on, the force trim switch to on, and make sure the chip detector system is set to both. Before starting the engine, we need to make sure the throttle is set to idle. The throttle is located on the grip of the collective control handle next to the pilot's left leg. The throttle is twisted left using the page up key to increase it, and right using the page down key to decrease it. Press and hold the page down key for a few seconds to make sure the throttle twist grip on the collective control handle is set to the idle stop position. Also, make sure the stick and pedals are in the neutral position and the collective is fully lowered. You can check the position of the controls on the controls indicator by pressing right control and enter.
Ooh, I've got some remapping to do. That's the anti-torque pedals that I'm moving there, and it's moving the collective. And I don't think I have the throttle mapped anywhere. Alright, let's remap the controls here real quick, because this is going to be bad. Alright, collective. So the throttle is assigned somewhere. Oh, the throttle and the collective are both assigned. Oh, I see. Alright, so that's collective. That's throttle. Interesting. This is my steering wheel, so I'm going to clear all that. The rudder probably should not have collective or cyclic. Let's get rid of that. We'll make that okay. There we go. Pitch and roll look good. Got throttle, collective, zoom, and I got the rudders right now. Okay. Alright, engine start is where I expected it. Searchlight extend and retract, that's about what I had expected. Now, the turbine RPM. There we go. Okay, that'll work. Alright, so that's searchlight, extend and retract. How about searchlight on? And searchlight off. And those assignments for the rudder. Okay, I think I cleared it. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so make sure I got this all right. Searchlight retract, searchlight extend, on, off. Landing lights. Retract. Extend. That'll be, oops. There we go, on and off. All right, then the turbine RPM is down here. All right, throttle stop switch. Where can I put that? I'll go there for now. Okay, and then on the cyclic, don't want anything on the steering wheel. Don't really want anything on those. All right. All right, so the trigger is weapons release, that's fine. Trimmer reset. Trimmer. Okay. That should work. Alright, so that's collective. This should be throttle. Don't know why that's not working. Governor RPM. Landing light. Searchlight extend retract.
To start the engine, you will need to press and hold the home key on the keyboard to pull the engine start trigger located beneath the switch box of the collective control handle. As the engine spools up, you will need to monitor the engine instruments and the clock. The engine start button needs to be held down until the gas producer speed reaches 40% or 40 seconds have passed on the clock, whichever comes first. You should also see the rotor begin to turn around 15% of gas producer RPM. If this does not happen, abort the start sequence. Whenever you're ready, begin the ignition sequence by pressing and holding the home key on the keyboard to pull the engine start trigger. Don't forget to note the time and watch the gas producer indicator.
Alright, before I do that, let's look around a little bit here and enjoy some of the visual model. Not bad on the inside there. Nice looking piece of kit on the outside. So there's full collective, minimum collective. The swash plate moving, that's kind of cool. Anti-torque pedals, that looks good. Alright, this should be the start switch. Yes, indeed. Oh, that's interesting.
The helicopter will toss you around quite a bit as the rotor spins up. Let me know if you need to use the bag.
Good grief.
Okay, we're idling normally. Let's set up the avionics. Back on the overhead console, turn on the inverter by setting it to main on. We'll now power up the radio systems. Set the AN-APX72 transponder to standby, STBY, by right-clicking once over the master switch. Turn on the AN-ARN82 VHF NavCom radio by right-clicking on the power switch once. Turn on the AN-ARC134 VHF com radio by right-clicking on the power switch once. Turn on the AN-ARC51BX UHF radio by setting the function switch to TR, transmit receive. Set the interphone selector switch to 3 to set the VHF com radio for transmission. This will allow you to communicate with ATC. To communicate with wingmen, you will usually transmit over the UHF radio, which is position 2 on this switch. Turn on the AN-ARC131 VHF FM radio by setting the mode switch to TR, transmit receive. Turn on the AN/ARN83 ADF receiver by setting the mode switch to ADF. To complete the avionics setup, set the starter generator to standby STBY on the overhead console.
I don't think I actually want that on.
Let's now run up the engine to normal power. Press the page up key repeatedly and monitor the engine and rotor RPM indicator as power increases. Continue to slowly add power until the throttle grip on the collective is twisted all the way to the left. Watch the engine RPM to stabilize on 6600 and rotor RPM on 324.
That looks good.
Right-click over the test switch on the master caution panel to reset the master caution light on the front dash. If the engine RPM is off the 6600 mark, you can use the governor RPM switch on the collective, also known as the beep switch, to adjust the RPM as necessary. The helicopter is now ready for takeoff. This concludes the cold start lesson. Well done.
Alright. I wonder how badly this could possibly go. Ooh, pretty badly. Whoa, pretty badly indeed. Alright, we're sort of flying. Oops, wrong button. Well, there we are. Not terribly smooth, but we're flying at least. Let's see if I can land it without killing myself. Hey, look at that. Nowhere near where I had intended to land, but at least I put it on the ground. Alright. Let's see what's next in the tutorials. Let's actually fly it. Alright, so this is just a takeoff practice. So we've got the throttle fall. I guess it's just free flight in the tutorial. Alright. Put some pitch and see what happens. Definitely light on the skids here. Hey, we're flying. Not hovering, but flying. Whoa, easy, 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 easy. This is so tough without being able to feel it in the seat of your pants at all. Just having to rely on your eyesight. Probably be a little bit easier in VR. Alright. It's not pretty, but here we are. Get back over the numbers here. Other way. Other way. There we go. Ooh, a little too much there. Let's not do that. Alright. My goal here is to land right on the numbers. Not going terribly well. There we go. There we go. Hey, look at that. It was ugly. Really ugly. But it's there. Alright. Whoa, this is tough to do. Whoa, that's gone really poorly. Alright. Fly down the runway a couple times. Actually get some speed on it. And then try and land back on the numbers again. interesting. Alright. So here we are coming down the runway at about 50 knots. Get just a little more speed. Start bleeding the speed off. The numbers below me. Yeah, I knew that was coming. Whoa. That was some mush. Yikes. Yeah, let's get over there. Come on. Nope. Ah. No. At least I landed. Didn't crash. Alright. Let's get over here to the numbers. Good little helicopter. Oh, that's gone poorly. There we go. Here we go. Good enough. Whew. That is stressful.